Hello and welcome to the Code Cycler YouTube channel. This is going to be my second video, and in this we're just going to create some particles that are going to walk randomly across the screen. So without further ado, let's get started. All I've got here so far is a blank black canvas that you can see on the right, and I created this using the p5.js create canvas function. So here I just define a width and a height. And I set the background as 0, which is black. And we're calling all the p5 libraries here in the index HTML file, and that's what's running on the right. So what are we going to create today? We're going to create some points, and they're going to have a random position, and they're going to move randomly across the screen. So for that, I'm going to start off by creating a constructor function to write the points, or to make the points. So let's get started. So I'm going to function. We'll call them balls. No, we'll call them points. Dots. Just thinking what's already a function, predefined function. I don't want to overlap that. And we'll say this dot x equals random 0 width. So that's going to assign it a random position based on somewhere between 0 and the width. And this dot y equals random 0 and height. Okay, and we'll call it this dot size. No, that's already a function. This dot, we'll call it this dot r, even though it's not a radius, and we'll set that to 4 pixels. The first thing we want to do is create a function called show. So we'll go this dot show, or this dot draw point. I'm going to say equals function, and we'll say fill, and we'll go, we'll try for purple, so we go 255 in the red, 0 in the green, and 200 in the blue. We'll go no stroke, because we don't want it to have a border, because that'll look a bit messy, and we'll go ellipse, that's this dot x, this dot y, this dot r, this dot r. Okay, so let's just save this. So now we want to create a variable where we're going to call this constructor function. So we'll go var points. And we'll make this an array, so it equals an empty array. And in setup we'll go for var I equals 0. I is less than, let's just start off with 10 points on the screen. I++. And in here, we're going to say points index I equals new draw point. Actually, you know what? Let's just make that point with a new point function. Okay, and we'll save that. And in the draw, we want to be able to show it, so we'll run through this for loop again. but instead of 10 we'll say, ooh, can't spell, points. Can't spell, so am I. Points.length. So for var I equals 0, as long as I is less than the length of the array points, add something, add 1 to I. And we'll call the function now dot oh my word, I've done this terribly, sorry. That should be dots. Forgot my own nomenclature here. This is terrible. Bear with me 1 minute. Draw point. And let's see if this will run. Yep, so there we go. We've got 10 points randomly distributed with random x and y's across the screen. Let's just make them a bit bigger. Let's make them 10 pixels. 6. There we go. So we got our 10 points on the screen. So now we want to make them move. So we're going to say this dot move points equals another function. And we're going to say this dot speed x this dot speed x and this dot speed y. I'm just thinking as I do this now. And we're going to say this dot speed x equals random between -1, let's say make it move a bit further, -5 and +5. And we'll do the same for speed y. Actually, that's probably too far. We'll say 3 and 3. Dot speed y, that. And we'll say this dot x equals, plus equals speed x. This dot speed x, sorry. Speed y. This dot speed y and speed x. This dot y plus equals this dot speed y. And we'll say if this dot x less than 0, or the two vertical lines there, or this dot y, this dot x greater than width, or this dot y less than 0, or, it's a long line, this dot y greater than height, this dot x equals, and we'll reset it to a new random location. And now we just need to call this in here. So we can loop through, and after we've drawn it, we can go point index I dot move points, and that's a function. And now let's go see, we've got them wobbling around there nicely. And yep, one just disappeared and it created a new one here. So let's watch this one. Yep, new point down here. Okay, and let's try and keep track of these movements. So we're going to say, what we're going to do is, instead of calling a background function every time to reset it to 0, we'll call that in the setup function. So here, and if we save that now, we'll be able to see a trace of where these has moved. Okay, so that's good. What I think I'll do now is, instead of having them move or start from random locations and move randomly, we'll have them all start in the center and move out from the center in different locations. Okay, so we'll define that as this.x equals width divided by 2. This.y equals height divided by 2. We'll make them a bit smaller, so because their tracks are going to overlap, so we'll just make it 2. And we will also make their speed a bit slower as well. We'll just say between -2 and +2. And there we go. We've got a random movement of particles out from the center of our screen. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you're able to follow along with it at home. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter, and have a look at my website as well, that's linked in the description, where I go into this in a bit more detail. If you've got any suggestions for things you'd like to see me make, please send them to me, leave me a comment, give me a tweet, and I'll have a go at creating them. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching, and again, I hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye.